How many people can work and make a living doing what they really enjoy? And I just enjoy creating and making things, and many times I'll get the wheels in my mind going, right? Trying to bring together the concepts to make a project, and I'll go to bed and I've been up, long hours already, and I just can't go to sleep. I can't shut it off. Those wheels just keep going. Finally I'll drift off, but and a lot of times when you're in that kind of in-between state before you go to sleep, the things will click and come together, and you'll wake up and you say, yeah, I got it.
Steve Noyes has been around wood his entire life. After growing up on construction sites watching his father, he became a contractor and finishing carpenter. He began dabbling with building log furniture when he built a log house. He built beds, desks, dining room furniture, and more featuring the live edge technique. But then things changed.
Then my taste kind of evolved, I guess you would say, from the rustic, I sold that house, built a new one, to more the sophisticated type of lines and contours and things, and I start doing these rocking chairs and coffee tables. But I became inspired by seeing some photos of some world famous furniture makers and making rocking chairs and different things. And I studied those photos and I thought, I can do that. I got a vision. All of a sudden one day it just clicked. And so I've gone on and I've, creating my own designs and concepts and kind of leaving the construction trade behind. And this is actually is my first love, I guess you would call it, yeah.
Over the years, he has continued to try new things when it comes to handcrafted furniture.
Of course, you have a little slow start, right? And as time progresses, you develop, right? And you become more in tune with it, and instead of having to think about what you're doing, it just kind of flows out of you. Some of your most valuable knowledge, or probably most of it, comes from trial and error. And of course, you can go in and search on the internet and learn a lot of things from other woodworkers. We all do that. But really, some of the real critical things are things that come to you because you've experienced a failure or a problem, and so you come up with a remedy. Wenatchee Valley, we're very dry, very low humidity, and so I make a piece and I send it to say just over to Seattle, where they have a much higher humidity. And because your grain from one side of the tree to the other is different, you'll have cathedral grain, you'll have flat grain, you'll have vertical grain when you get more towards the center. And so the grain reacts differently. When it, takes on moisture, it expands. So it will move. When it dries, it'll contract and it'll move again because it's fiber, it's all fibrous. And so when it dries, it shrinks and it pulls. And even when you're cutting a board, a lot of times, especially in some of the softer woods like pine, you'll cut and that board will just bow and curl and bend on you. And so to keep a piece stable has been a challenge sometimes in the finishes that you use. And so experience is a big factor in doing anything correctly. Of course, I was already, quite good with woodwork. I was doing, spiral staircases from wood and all these types of things, but furniture was totally different. About 5 feet
then width.
And this approximate same width.
It's approximate same width.
So we're looking at approximately 13, 14 inches.
Perfect. And then I do need at least 3 drawers, but but whatever. So we started out needing 1 vanity in our bathroom. And we have a rock sink, so we wanted a specific design for that. And we went over to Stephen's house, his shop, and we walked in, and this beautiful table was there. And I said, oh my gosh, I'd love to have that table. And then I looked over at a rocking chair, and I went, oh, I'd love that rocking chair. I love it. I enjoy woodwork, and my father did that as well. So going into his shop is like stepping back into my dad's old shop. It's fabulous. I love the smell of wood. I love this. I just love all of that. Working with him, it's very interesting because I can come in with my own ideas, and actually, I go into his shop and I'll see a piece of wood and say, oh, this would make a fabulous mirror, and just talk to him about what I want, and lo and behold, out comes something actually even better than I had imagined.
Work on getting this off, and it's not the easiest, but...
Say what? You're gonna take this off?
Oh, you'd want to leave the bark on?
Yeah.
Oh, well, we could do that. Have to dust it off and shoot enough finish on it so that it's, I think, is a little...
Could we maybe take some off the back here though? Because that's going to be too wide, I believe.
Metal that bows and bends, or it could be wood that I... You know, being in construction all my life and being the customer satisfaction guy, and you're always, you know, asking your customer, you know, questions, because you want to make sure that you're delivering what they want and to their specifications, and so you're continually involved and engaged with them. And I start carrying that over into my furniture making, and I would ask people, you know, questions, and they would look at me, kind of give me a blank stare, and they'd say, well, just use your judgment, I trust you. And, you know, that's really rewarding. And you do want to take this off? That is so unique.
I know it's unique, but I like this side better. And I like the contrast between these two. Light and dark. I like that, and I can't fit that. I hate to say this, we're known for apples, you know, and we're also known for our woodwork and artisans. And he's a perfect representative of great woodworking and taking things beyond what you would learn in a book, but taking it to the art level versus just leaving it as a table. I like interesting artwork, and that is functional as well. And so he could combine that for me. And honestly, when I told him, yeah, I want a table that hangs on the wall and I want it to look like a tree coming out of the wall, you should have seen the look on his face. You're kidding, right? You want me to have a table? But he did it, and he did it beautifully.
I'm kind of a wood enthusiast, is obvious. And so many times you see, there's trees that die, need to be taken out. There's trees that, for one reason or another have to come out of developments coming in, and, just various reasons that trees get taken out. And so many times I see that they come in and they just chunk them up into firewood. And it was a beautiful tree. It had, great trunk on it, nice base, you get nice slabs. It was a good hardwood, pretty wood, and it's just lost, it's wasted. It's either taken to the landfill or it's burnt for firewood. And so, yeah, my focus is reclaiming trees, not killing trees. I've only taken down a few trees, but they were going to come out anyway. But a lot of my favorite wood is trees that have died of themselves, that have sat there for a while and aged, and the color has had time to move through the wood. Just hate to see things wasted that are good. And I'll even bring things home that I probably shouldn't, that aren't that valuable, and just because of that. So. You begin to formulate in your mind concepts and things of pieces that you would like to do, and the more you think about them, the more they kind of develop. And I do everything basically in my head. I'm very visual, and so we can discuss a product or a project, and I'm actually have a picture in my mind, like I'm looking at it. And so I start, sleeping on this, and so I did. I came up with some concepts, and they didn't fully register, and until I was actually doing it. I made the seat. I made the support that bows and comes down and around. And I thought, okay, this is going to fall forward. It needs, legs in the front and a place to hook your feet. And how am I going to do that? And I thought, okay, well, I'll do this. And now I could have some little horns to it. We'll add to it. And then I thought, well, what do I need on the back? I need some stabilization on that. And so it all start coming together as you do. And a lot of times, that's how things work. You need to actually get in and start doing it, and you've already have it pretty much formulated, but the final concepts don't come until you're actually engaged in doing it. And then it'll click. And you might have to do it a time or two, and you make it and you set it over in the corner where you can look at it as you come in the shop and kind of look at it and study it. And and sometimes the changes you make are just subtle, but they're the perfect change that needed to complete that piece in the way that it needs to be completed. I love this. I love the aspect of creating and having very nice pieces that are, up to the same level and speed of these world-famous furniture makers in their element of which I'm making them. All my pieces, original pieces, I signed the Stephen Noyes collection. I number them, the year, the piece number. And for special customers, I will, if they request, I will put made specially for whomever. And so they are heirloom pieces. These are pieces that, you know, they don't diminish in their value. They will hold their value. A lot of work goes into my pieces. And so a lot of times you're doing good to, you know, to make wages out of them. And people will, you know, say, wow, how much for that? Right? But, you know, once they see what goes into it and they realize, you know, that the value is there and it's something they can pass down. And these do become the centerpieces and focal parts of a person's house. And it's just time, and then you just be satisfied and know that, you know, this isn't going to happen overnight. This is, you know, this is something that takes time. And so you just settle down, don't get in a hurry. You know, you think about, you know, developing your own products that become iconic of you and of your name. And when people see these, they say, oh, you know, that's a Steve Noyes product, you know, that's his creation. And so, and then time will do the rest.